Hello there. No, I'm not in London. I'm actually at MG Motors Gurugram. And I'm here to talk about MG Motors' unique ownership model called Battery as a Service. What is it all about and how does it reduce ownership costs? We'll find out today at this showroom and while driving India's best-selling electric vehicle, the Windsor EV. So let's find out what BaaS is all about. So this is a MG Windsor EV being readied for a customer. And there are over 3,500 customers of the MG Windsor every month for the last few months. There are almost 20,000 of these cars on the roads. And many of those customers are choosing battery as a service ownership model. What does that mean? That means the car is divided into the shell and that battery pack, a display of which is hanging on the wall over there. You get to divide the car into two bits. Now, the MG Windsor has a starting ex-showroom price of 14 lakhs. However, if you choose it as a BaaS model, you pay just 10 lakhs for the shell and you pay a separate financing scheme for the battery. This reduces your upfront cost significantly. Now, the battery financing scheme can depend. You have different schemes offered by 5 different financing companies. Now, the basic scheme is one where you pay 3.9 rupees per kilometer of use for 1,500 kilometers every month. You go over 1,500 kilometers, you still pay the same amount. That is 1,500 into 3.9 rupees. However, there are other finance schemes where if you don't use the car at all in a month, you pay zero. If you use the car 2,000 kilometers, you pay a certain amount. These schemes can be customized to your particular usage pattern. You still end up paying for the battery over the ownership period of the vehicle. What is interesting is the battery finance is amortized over 8 years, unlike the car's finance. The car finance lasts for 3, 4, or 5 years. Now, if you have to sell the car before that, you have to go to the finance company and, of course, repay the amount of the loan that is outstanding on the BaaS scheme. But basically what the BaaS scheme does is it divides the cost. You pay less upfront, and if you take a pay-as-you-use scheme, you might find it very convenient for your usage pattern. But that does not mean that you have to take the BaaS scheme. You can also buy an MG Windsor outright. And MG Motors also offers the BaaS scheme on the Comet at an ownership cost of 2.5 rupees a kilometer, as well as the MG ZS EV. There are 2 challenges to electric vehicle ownership. MG Motor has addressed the first one, that is the outright ownership of the vehicle. Because batteries, as you've been told, are expensive, and battery as a service addresses that expense part by taking the battery ownership away from the outright price of the vehicle. But what is the second challenge? Every electric vehicle owner will tell you, where do I charge my car? Can I go long distances in my car? Do I have to have multiple apps on my smartphone to charge my car? Well, MG Motor has addressed that too. This is the eHub by MG app. Let's open it. And it's searching for the nearest chargers near me. But say I want to go to Mathura. Let's search over here for Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. And, oh, sorry, we made a mistake over here. Starts from my current location, confirm my location, and I'm going to end at Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, let's go. Find best routes. And it's showing me the best routes with all the chargers that are on the way. And I will need to charge the MG Windsor I'm using. It doesn't have that much range. And I'll show you how I can charge a car directly from this app when we charge the Windsor on our way to Mathura. So let's get driving now. So we're taking the MG Windsor to Mathura. Mathura is about a 175-kilometer drive from Delhi. And that will not only showcase the extremely good range of the MG Windsor, and I'll be using the MG eHub app to show you how I charge this car in Mathura. It also showcases the aerodynamic design of the Windsor. It's called AeroGlide, and it gives the MG Windsor a coefficient of drag of only 0.27. And that might surprise some people, because if you look at the MG Windsor, its looks are slightly polarizing. I indeed quite like the looks because it makes the car aerodynamic, and aerodynamic cars have better range. Range good enough that despite having a smaller 38 kilowatt-hour battery, the MG Windsor has more range than many of its competitors. So we've come to Mathura. It's been 175 kilometers in the MG Windsor, and I've come to the Government Museum in Mathura, and I've come here for a very specific reason. So let's go inside and I'll show you why I've come here. You know, I've enjoyed the Windsor, and now let's go enjoy the museum. So we've been driving through the narrow streets of Mathura, and you've got the MG Windsor here. We've come to the Government Museum in Mathura, and the reason I've come to the Government Museum in Mathura, well, pardon my vanity over here, it's because it has one of the finest collections of, or possibly the only major collection of artwork from the Kushan period, the great Bactrian dynasty, after whom I'm named, from the 1st century AD up to the 5th century AD. In fact, this museum has collections dating back to Neolithic times as well, but some of the sculptures of the great Kushan kings, Kanishka, and their syncretic nature of Hinduism, Buddhism, and even aspects of Zoroastrianism are over here. It's a beautiful place, and I've been wanting to come here for a long time. After all, I am named Kushan. So now, let's charge the Windsor EV and get back to Delhi. So, using the eHub app, we have found a charger. This is the GeoBP Pulse charger on the Mathura-Agra highway. And now, let's get the car charged. We are down to 30% of charge. We've been driving all day, and we need the juice to get back to Delhi. So let's get charging. So as the sun sets, we are on our way back to Delhi. We have charged up the Windsor EV a bit, enough to get back to yet another charger where we'll charge the car up a bit more. It was getting a bit dark, so we thought we'll charge it nearer Delhi as well. The MG eHub app allows me to plan my routes accordingly. So we can see the app has moved over to Google Maps. Okay, don't use mobiles while driving, so that was wrong. We have Apple CarPlay loaded onto navigation over here, but right now this entire screen also allows me to fully open the sunroof. As the sun sets, that's a beautiful thing, right? So the MG Windsor EV has also been very comfortable to drive. These lovely aero lounge seats, as they call it, these quilted feel seats, they give the entire Windsor EV this entire spacious feel. It's like you're flying in business class. So it's fantastic. So today we've understood how MG is democratizing electric vehicle ownership with battery as a service, a whole new ownership paradigm. At the MG eHub app that allows you to find chargers no matter who the charging point operator, and the fact that the MG Windsor EV, which has a price starting at 14 lakhs or 9.99 lakhs if you buy it on a battery as a service package, is affordable, has long range, and most importantly, it is comfortable and easy to drive. This is Kushan Mitra saying thank you so much for watching this video. And be sure to subscribe to The Print for more awesome automotive content coming up in the coming months.